Today I'm going to show you guys how to make the most amazing potato salad without using any mayonnaise. It is tangy and fresh with a slight crunch, not too heavy, but still so satisfying. There are a few tips and tricks that really maximize the flavor of this potato salad, and I'm going to be showing you what they are throughout the video. Today we're going to be making kartoffelsalat, which is a traditional German potato salad. I've been to Germany many times, and in the summer there they have these beer gardens where there's really amazing food and beer, and my favorite part is always this kartoffelsalat. I swear every time I go, I can eat a whole bowl. So I cannot wait to show you how to recreate this vinegar-based potato salad in your home. So starting off with our potatoes. You want to use a potato which is really flavorful and that holds together well, which is why we're going to use Yukon Gold potatoes. You don't want to use russets because they tend to be a bit more flaky and they fall apart easier. We are also going to boil these potatoes with the skins on. If you peel the potatoes before boiling them, it's going to allow a lot of water to enter into the potato and it's going to make them not as tasty. Whenever you boil them with the skins on, it's going to allow them to cook but to not become waterlogged. And then so later, whenever we marinate the potatoes, that's gonna allow that marinade to really soak into the potato more and to allow them to be more tasty. It is very important to always cook your potatoes in cold water. This ensures that the potatoes cook evenly and don't have any spots that are more cooked and less cooked. To make the boiling process go faster, I like to add the lid on top and then take it off once the water is boiling. And don't forget to add a hefty amount of salt to the water once it's boiling. I like to add a small palmful. You're gonna wanna cook these potatoes until they are fork tender. This is gonna take around 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the size of your potato. You just wanna make sure that whenever you stab the potato with a fork, that it has a slight resistance, but it isn't falling apart. Then drain and rinse the potatoes with cold water. One tip on cooking the potatoes: while you're testing them to see if they are finished or not, and you have doubts that they may still be slightly undercooked, be sure to let them cook longer. I would always rather have a potato salad which is slightly overcooked than slightly undercooked. Having a crunchy potato in a potato salad is just not good. So I recommend that you make sure that those potatoes are cooked all the way through before you take them out. So now I'm going to show you a very easy way on how we remove the skins from the potatoes while they are still hot. You're just going to take a clean kitchen towel and then you're going to take your potato, hold it in the towel, and then you're just going to gently kind of rub off the skins, and they come off super easily and you can do it all really fast. You do want to make sure that you remove these skins off of the potatoes right after you drain them and rinse them in cold water, because at that point they're still really hot and the skins come off really easily. If you let them cool, they're not going to come off as easily and it's going to take you longer. We're going to go ahead and make our marinade. Unlike a mayonnaise-based potato salad, this one is vinegar-based, and it's going to actually absorb through all of the potatoes and really make them so flavorful. So to a medium-sized saucepan, we're going to add 1.5 cups of vegetable broth. I do this just by adding some water along with some vegetable bouillon cube, along with some white vinegar or white wine vinegar, along with 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, a good amount of salt, and just a little bit of sugar. And lastly, we add some diced onion. We don't saute the onion first because we don't want it to completely soften. We do want it to stay somewhat raw, so it provides a slight crunch, but mixing it in with the vinegar does kind of mellow out that raw flavor. Next, we're gonna cut our potatoes. For this recipe, we're going to cut the potatoes in 1/4 inch slices. Cutting the potatoes in these kind of thin slices is going to really allow that marinade to soak all the way through. I have made this recipe cutting the potatoes into chunks, and it's also delicious, but I do have to say I think the flavor is a little bit better whenever you cut it into slices, just because that marinade is able to get in there that much more. Now that the potatoes are ready to go, we're going to come back to our marinade, which we prepared earlier. We're just going to heat this on the stove until it comes to a boil. At this point, I also like to give it a few good stirs just to make sure that that bouillon cube that I added is really nice and mixed in. Now that our marinade is nice and hot, we are going to dump it over all of the potatoes. We're going to let this sit for at least an hour. I like waiting about 30 minutes and then giving it a good stir just to make sure everything is really mixed in with that marinade. And we're also going to put something on top to cover. I just use a baking sheet, flip it upside down, and boom. That's how I cover it. It's like a zero waste way to cover a bowl. While our potatoes are marinating, I'm going to cut up 1 cucumber. I'm using a regular cucumber. You could also use an English cucumber, which has a thinner skin, but I do recommend that you leave the skin on just because it does provide a really nice crunch. It's a really nice balance whenever you have the savory softness of the potatoes along with the fresh, light crunch of the cucumber. It just goes together perfectly. I like cutting them in half moons. Just be sure to slice them thinly. So now for my favorite part of the dish, the chives. I love chives and the kind of soft, oniony freshness that they provide. And I'm so excited because now I've started growing them at my house. I've just kind of started growing my own herbs recently, and it makes me really excited just to be able to go outside and to cut some fresh herbs myself without having to buy them. So we'll see how long I go without killing my plants. So you're just gonna wanna give these a fine mince. Now it's been about 30 minutes, so I'm gonna give this a mix. Now I'll let this sit for another 30 minutes. Now it's time to put the final touches on the potato salad. We're gonna add some neutral oil. I really do think here it is important to use a neutral oil like sunflower seed oil, for example. I have done it once with olive oil and I could tell the difference. It's much better with the neutral oil. Along with our cucumbers, and we just give this a mix. And now for the best part, the chives. Keep in mind that this potato salad does have a lot of liquid in it, but that liquid is where all of that really nice flavor lies. So whenever you keep it in the fridge and really let it marinate, all of that liquid is going to really give a lot of flavor to the potatoes. So you can either drain off some of the liquid whenever you're ready to serve it, or you can serve it with a slotted spoon. But just keep in mind that that liquid is really important. Holds a lot of flavor in there. It's really important to keep in mind that this salad is so much better the next day. It's like a completely different thing. The flavor is so much stronger and it's just a lot more tasty. It's still good the same day, but the next day, it's like another thing. It reaches like another dimension. So if you can, make it the day before, and then the day that you're gonna be serving it, just relax, and your potato salad is gonna be so much tastier. Before I give this a taste, I really wanna know from you guys, what are your favorite side dishes to bring to get-togethers or barbecues? I love hearing what other people like to make, and I really wanna hear from you. So drop me a comment in the comment section below, and I would really appreciate it. Okay, let's see how this tastes today. Okay, it's still really good right now. If you were to eat this right now, I'm sure you'd be happy with it. It's delicious. It has the perfect balance of tanginess because we have like the onion and the mustard and just like a little bit of sugar to like balance it out, but it doesn't really taste sweet. And the crunch from the cucumbers, don't leave the cucumbers out. They're so important in here. You guys, I know you're really gonna like this recipe. I hope you really enjoy trying a different kind of potato salad that doesn't include mayonnaise. I know I sure do. I never make the mayonnaise version anymore, and I really hope you like the recipe. Cannot wait to see you in the next one.